Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is divest. To deprive or dispossess, especially of property, authority, or title. To undress or strip, especially of clothing, ornament, or equipment. Rid, free, or to take away from a person. Just like yesterday, I'm going to pose this a question. I kind of hovered around to remove a title, although I think there's some gamier elements to strip of equipment. That's actually really cool. And I just never got to it in my notes. I have like 3 pages of notes where I kind of went off on this long tangent. It's been a weird week. So let's look at it. So just like yesterday, I'm posing a question: what is a title? And not essentially what is one by definition, but what does a title do? What are the benefits of a title? So I went into in a job, it can often dictate your pay level. It can, house your responsibilities, and it can determine where you stand in a job structure or a company. But then my question sort of evolved into like, what is a manager if they aren't given the title a manager? What happens if they're stripped of the title? And in a workplace, if you're stripped of a title, you're often either fired or given a different title. So there's not really an example of a manager that's not considered a manager. Although something interesting that I didn't go too far into is when you don't have a title but you're performing those responsibilities. For example, you're trying to become a manager and you're just below it. But stripping a title from a person can remove their responsibilities or power, but it might not. It could just shift that. So I said, imagine I'm playing a game where I control a character or characters and they all have a bunch of titles. And I'm just going very generic city life. There's a mayor, police chief, fire chief, and a teacher. And as I was writing those out, from a game side, I felt like teacher didn't feel like as much of a title as mayor, police chief, and fire chief, because it doesn't show a level. Chief shows that it's the top. Mayor shows that it's the top. But a teacher shows that it's one of the body of teachers. And I thought that was interesting from a gameplay perspective, is that ranking is a variable. So that's something that I was kind of leaning on. But let's say in the gameplay that I'm playing a mayor, and the rest of you conspire against me to remove my title of mayor. What's going to happen at that point? So if I was getting income from being a mayor, I'm no longer getting my income. But does my power and influence go away? And I'm sure some of it does, but I don't think that all of it does. And my skills, whatever my skills are, they don't disappear. So I still have those skills. I just don't have the title. I don't have the paycheck. So going into other roles, like a more technical one, like a fire chief, if there's a fire, am I still going to be the one that's asked to put it out? Am I still going to be the best one to put it out? I might not have the tools, but a title doesn't dictate the tools. It might dictate the funding to get the tools, but I could still have the tools for a variety of titles. So going back to the games, I can see it being part of a game where you can learn or gain abilities throughout the game, and those abilities allow you to do more things, so a little bit of engine building. But the title, once you achieve a title, that's when you start gaining income based off of the things that you do. And losing a title will drop the income, but you will keep everything else that you've earned. And I sort of approach that as the opposite of divest. So instead of losing titles, you're gaining titles. But if there's the ability to lose one, then we're starting to throw in, what divest would do that. And I don't see that in a lot of games. There's a lot of engine building games where you can build your engine, but other people can mess with everything else, but they can't mess with your engine. The things that you're, I've got me and I've got my engine, and you can mess with me, but my engine's sort of pretty solid in a good amount of games at least, or at least the ones that I play. So messing with somebody's, I guess, stopping their income but allowing their engine to continue, it's sort of along those same lines. I don't know. I'm going off my notebook, as you can tell, because I'm like looking into space and thinking. But so one thing is players could start out with many hats. So you have all these different roles, and then with those roles come along all these different pay scales and responsibilities and things like that. And you're using your skills and powers to remove each other player's roles. And as you remove players' roles, they lose money, and money keeps you going. And it sounds very Take That, which is often troublesome, but not always. But it's, if done well, it's not. But Take That can sort of be shifted into deduction in a way, so that's not as troublesome. It's just its own kind of beast. But yeah, so that's as far as I got in my notes. I really do want to look at removing equipment, because equipment is neat. And it all kind of comes back to the same thing. It's like if I remove a title, I'm removing money, but if I'm removing equipment, I'm removing your tools, essentially. So I guess it all comes down to the removal. That's the key word here. And it doesn't have to be against other players and being Take That. It could be against, the game and like a co-op game, or even one that's not co-op, where you're removing equipment to stop the game's engine from coming at you. If you remove a title from the game, it could remove their funding and things like that. So I think all that's pretty neat. So that's pretty much how far I got. It's been a weird week here. I'm leaving my job and moving on to part-time work so I can do Button Shy more than I've been doing before and better than I've been doing before. So this word's particularly interesting because I worked in foreclosure law, and divest is a term that comes up daily there. So happy to be out of it and, moving on and on to much better things. So if this term does anything for you, let us know. Comment, all that kind of cool stuff. Just, reply, make your own game, do whatever. But thank you for listening to another week of Design Diary. We've got awesome episodes geared up for this weekend, and we'll see you back next week. And I'll promise less questions and more Design Diary. All right, see you around. Bye.